What is going on, beautiful world? It's me, your girl, Myz Lulu. Welcome to Island Block TV, Pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. And I've got with me hashtag Samoan Diva herself, over 20 years of experience, and she is a songstress. I can't even do the runs that she does. I don't even speak well, let alone this songbird right here. Please give it up for the beautiful Miss Marina Davis. Hello,
Hi,
gorgeous.
Lulu. How are you, sweetie?
Oh, I'm doing so great. Even better that I get to sit down with you finally. We're going to jump right into it because I
Sure.
know your time is money and I need to really protect your instrument, right? Okay, so
Yep.
where it all kind of started and where the world was introduced to you, the X Factor in Australia back in
hmm
2011, you chose
Yeah.
Listen by Beyonce. What was it about that song that made you want to audition with it?
Absolutely. Well, actually, my first solo album, which had the Ole Taualuga
Oh,
song, which is
yes.
everybody's Taualuga song, was released in 2001. And then after that, I had recorded that song, and then got married, had a family. By the time that I had, recorded my second album, which has the other hits, which is Lau Samoa and Sao Moe, um, it was a whole 10 years later, and I had taken that time off to be with my children, to raise them.
You had 4
And
girls at
I
the time.
you know I had four girls, girl, in 10 years.
Wow.
Okay, so no, in 8 years. In 8 years, I had four girls in 8 years, and best thing I ever did. And so then I had recorded this album, and I was like, well, I've got no money for marketing, because as an artist, you spend all your time and effort and resources and money on making sure that the songs sound amazing, making sure that the production is great. You don't think like a business person and go, I need to spend it on marketing. So I thought to myself, how can I get myself in front of and excuse me, I'm so sorry. That was I don't know why my alarm went off.
Okay,
Um,
you're good.
but but I thought to myself, how can I get myself in front of 2 million people overnight? And I thought, let's go on a show that is all about talent. And I did, and it worked. It restarted my career. And I picked Listen because of the message behind it. Sometimes when you have a gifting, and you know that you have a calling with that is associated with that gifting, and you want to share your stories and share your heart with the world, it never leaves you. Even when you take time out from the industry to raise your children, even when you're with your children, in the depth of your heart, you have a longing to express yourself. So I, decided that Listen was a great song, because it showed my range, um,
Absolutely.
but also but also because of the message that you should never give up on your dreams, and you should never give up on yourself and the calling that God has put on your life. It should always be prioritized over everything, and that has an incredible lesson for me. And I decided to listen to the calling in my heart, and I did it. So, and here we are.
Oh, girl, you didn't just do it. You just slam dunked that thing. And the message was literally, listen, you made, they were all ears, you know?
Oh, thank you.
S-
Appreciate it.
Well, and you mentioned X Factor, we mentioned X Factor. Would you do anything differently, or if anything at all, especially since you've developed your voice over the years?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Going on to X Factor, what people don't realize is that before you actually get on stage, there's maybe a waiting. You have to register, you have to wait your turn, you have to do a few interviews, and things like that. And at that time, because it was way before COVID, you could bring your posse in, something you could bring. So I had brought my husband, my children. I had brought two of our very dear friends along with us. And if I could go back, I would just tell myself to shut up, because I was talking, and I was already sick, sort of thing.
Mm.
So I was already sick, and my voice wasn't functioning properly. I'd been trying to get rid of that flu for the week beforehand. And but I'm in there, and I'm talking to everybody, because the excitement's so high. And the more I talk, the more I'm losing my voice. And then you're talking to all the other contestants and then they want to talk to you. And so if I could go back and do something different, I would tell myself, Marina, just shut up and relax and save your voice for the stage. And I think, so what it got me thinking was, how can I distract from my lack of vocal ability right now? Let me try to be funny. Let me try to be funny stage. And if you've watched the whole thing, there's a part where they're like, introduce yourself, and I say, yes, I've got 4 children and 1 husband, and I can't tell you the amount of times people have come up to me and they're like, I've got 2 children and I'm on my 2nd husband, and I'm like, okay, that's TMI. So much fun, so much fun. It's such a great experience. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it.
And that's such great advice. Okay, just to make sure that, hey, it's definitely
Zip
a marathon, not a sprint, and
Yes.
to make sure that you're just shut up and save your
Yes,
instrument if it's a singing
bring your
competition.
curling. Yep, and bring your curling iron, bring your makeup, because I literally thought we were going to get there and then get on stage. No, it didn't happen like that. We had to wait for like 8 hours before I got on stage.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
by then my
rough.
hair had fallen flat, the curls were all out of the hair, my makeup was dead, sort of thing. But one lash was like dangling
Oh,
off, you could barely. I was like, girl,
you're
you
literally
better not
holding
come
on by
off.
a lash.
It really
That's
was.
magnificent. Okay, well, earlier this year, you performed at Pacifica TV and Radio Awards 2022, singing, of course,
Yes.
another diva, Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody, one of my favorites. You love to sing
Yeah.
songs that involve big runs and high notes because, of course, your God given ability to have a wide vocal range. How do you keep your instrument in tip top shape besides just being a recluse and not speaking to anybody?
Right, right. Well, the very first thing, if you want to be an incredible singer with a really huge range, be very boring like me. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs, all of those things. You have to be very boring to
Mm.
to sing at this level. I'm just joking. So I think one of the things that I love to do to keep my voice in pristine condition is to actually follow my life motto, which is, I want to go the path of least resistance to joy, sort of thing. I believe that my voice is an outward expression of what's happening in here and in here. I believe that it's an outward expression of gratitude. And so that's why I have no fear of singing in front of people. I have no fear of expressing or writing from a place of darkness, of wholeness, of sadness. I have no qualms, no hesitations about writing from a place of failure, of winning, because I'm not emotionally attached to an outcome, anything. I am really just enjoying my life and pursuing the path of least resistance to joy. So I believe that what happens when it comes out here is that I've done all the work in here to keep my heart at a place where I can look at things with a really positive view. And so I believe that that comes out when I sing. I hope that it does, because I know personally within myself, when I go through a dark time, those are the best times to write, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
As you've heard in Derek's husband,
Yeah.
it's a great place to write from, but I don't want to stay there. I want to write from that place, but I want to live from a place of joy. So I think that's why.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. And I'm just really looking forward to dive into Dear Ex-Husband because I've got a gazillion questions, especially after listening
Yes.
to it. But let's get all these other really
Hit me,
important
girl.
questions there.
Yep.
Now, your music on YouTube has a very interesting tag on it. I did mention it in your introduction. Hashtag
Mm.
Samoan Diva. What qualities do you think a diva embodies, and what about you makes you a Samoan diva?
I think that's such a funny title. Sometimes when I'm performing, people go, "The voice of the Pacific," and I'm, huh? What? Sort of thing. I think that's so funny. because sometimes other people put those titles on you, but I believe a diva is someone who really knows herself, who knows her weaknesses and her strengths, who also there's a really important meditation that I focus on, which is called tefillah, and tefillah is a prayer of self-evaluation.
Mm.
And I believe that a diva is someone who knows how to use her presence and how to use her talents and her gifts to honor other people and to bless other people and to hopefully be a good influence, sort of thing, and also that admits their mistakes. Girl, I am the first to tell you when I failed. And I think it's so funny because I've done so many interviews over the years, and they're always like, "You're such a success. You're so successful," and I'm like, "Girl, I'm a failure." Like, if you look at the, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's so easy for people to just look at your Kodak moments, but
Yeah.
then, and to look at the diva that shines like that. And that's why I value the people in my life so much, because they see the broken human
Yes.
and the undeniable resilience that it's taught me. And I think that a diva is someone that owns up to who they are, that positions themselves and aligns themselves with who God has destined them to be. I don't believe that a diva is someone that has an attitude or anything like that. That's not a diva. That's someone who's got a
Insecure and doesn't
who's
really
got a
know themselves.
personality disorder. Who's someone who's rude, and I think they need to reparent themselves.
Right.
But I think what qualifies me as a diva, hopefully, is the ability to be able to really stand firm on my giftings, my talents, my personality, my style, my ambition, the way I love others, and my culture. Sort of thing, my beautiful Samoan and Jewish heritage. So for me, it's a really big deal to be called a diva, and I don't take it very lightly.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't wait for this song to come out. I think you need to
Me
write a
too.
song about diva because that
Yeah.
definition is so much more encompassing of what a diva is to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking out for that next single to come out. What a Real Diva Is by Marina
Yeah.
Davis. Okay,
Yeah.
so not only are you a Samoan diva, but you're also the queen of Siva Samoa. You mentioned how much you love your cultures, but Ole Taualunga has obviously been played at more Samoan weddings, birthdays, graduations,
Oh,
everything Samoan when it comes to the Taualunga, which is our traditional end dance, right? You
yeah.
have become a staple in the Samoan community. What emotions grow through you when you hear this song or perform this song?
It still actually freaks me out, sort of thing. When I'm at a function and then someone puts on Ole Taulung and I'm like, what? People know who I am. Like, it still blows my mind. I didn't even know that my music was as big as it is until TikTok, and I saw how many people were using my songs on TikTok. And I was like, and when you're just oblivious to anything outside of your kids, it really does put it into perspective, just how much music matters to the world, and how
Absolutely.
much our cultural music deserves to be heard. And my team and I, our mission really is, to put Pacific Island artists and music at the forefront of the entire music industry. And we're going to fight for that. We're going to, because we deserve to be heard. Our music is just as beautiful, as I mean, like, I remember hearing Despacito on like secular radio for
Right,
the
right,
first
of
time,
course.
and I was like, one of my songs is going to be played on secular radio,
Right.
and everyone's going to know the words, sort of thing, because I think that our languages, sort of thing, our languages are just so beautiful,
Right.
and I want the world to hear our Pacific Island languages. Um, so the feelings that I get is, number one, pure joy. Like I said, my life's motto in my 40s is to go the path of least resistance to joy. And so when I hear it, it still blows me away. I have a tear in my eye, and when I perform it, that's when I call beautiful taupo to come on stage to dance it for me, because I want the attention to be put on the Siva Samoa, not on the singer. And
Right.
I think it's really important, to highlight our beautiful culture in in any which way possible. So I'm still to this day 20. It's a 20-year-old song,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
just
and
it just is able to drink now, 21, right? Just make that.
that's right. It's legal,
But
it's legal now.
2001, that's insane. You were a baby yourself, so to just
Oh
be
yeah.
so ahead of your time at that age to be able to write a song that has definitely bridged the generations and
Yeah.
is
Well, Ole Taualuga is actually a traditional Samoan song. It's two traditional Samoan songs put together, and so we just put it to a beat, and it's lasted. You know, we when we first came out with that, along with the other groups like Jam or Jam, we innovated a sound that hadn't been done before, which
right.
was to put island music to pop beats or to
Right.
R&B, sort of thing. So
Yes.
now it's very common, but that was an innovation back in its day. And so we're very proud of what we've accomplished, very, very proud, along with Pacific Soul and Lole, who were, we were sort of like the forefathers.
Right.
The forefathers. God, we're so old.
No
But
way.
it's been so wonderful to then have the longevity that I've had in my career because of such an incredible start that I had with those songs.
Oh man, I mean, I hear it every time I even think about your name, and I'm just like ready for everybody to empty their pockets and give me all your money.
Make it
Right,
rain.
exactly. Okay, so now we're getting into the song that I'm just really excited. It's fresh in my ears 'cause I just heard it, and I feel really special just to have that exclusive listening party right now with you. And I want to ask you about Dear Ex-Husband. So you mentioned that it's a love letter to the marriage I sacrificed myself for. Holy
100%.
Toledo, that is such a deep and very intentional statement, right? Like to be able to pull that out. So without giving too much away, because we definitely want everybody to hear it for themselves, but what do you want your listeners to take away from hearing this song?
Well, I want my male listeners and my female listeners to hear the same thing, which is that, I mean, like, really, sacrifice is another word for betray as well. Sort of thing.
Mm.
It's the relationship, the one relationship in my life. Oh my God, sorry.
No, I just know that because it's so fresh, it's so raw
Yeah,
still. Listening to it,
yeah.
girl, I'm married and I have children and we're going on 10 years married, been together 12 years and your relationship was 20 years plus and you grew up together and the
For sure.
lyrics, my gosh, Marina, I wanted to slash my wrists and hug somebody all at the same time. Look at, I'm
Yeah,
giving it away already.
yeah. It was a love letter to myself. Because what I learned, I mean, girl, Lulu, you should hear the first version of that song. It was, "Dear ex-husband,
Woo.
you effing, sort of thing." That was the first draft, and then I had
I
to,
need that uncut version right there.
and I talked about my meditation prayer, which is a tefillah prayer, which is self-evaluation. What I did with that was, in that state of pain and in that state of real like disalignment with my life and with my calling, and a real deep state of depression, that's where that song was birthed. But then what happened was that I realized I'm actually not depressed. I'm really unfulfilled in my life.
Ooh.
I'm unfulfilled in my marriage. I'm unfulfilled in my calling. And I need to help myself. I can't expect him to save me. And so, you know, writing that song was so cathartic, but at the same time, God, it made me see myself.
Mm.
And also, it made me self evaluate my part that I had to play in the dissolving of this marriage, in the dissolving and in the betrayal and in the hurt of this incredible relationship that I literally betrayed myself and my happiness to be a part of. Does that make sense? So, what
Absolutely.
happens? what happens is that when two people have been in a relationship and we didn't have the tools, church didn't teach us how to be married,
Right.
sort of thing. Our parents didn't teach us how to be married. And
And
so
then you went
I
into having
decided
kids right away. So
a
you didn't
hundred
even have
percent,
time with each
a
other
hundred
to
percent.
learn each other yet, right?
100%. I mean, we were together for 2 years before we got married, but I think at the same time, we were still way too young to understand what we were getting ourselves into, and no one prepared us. And that's why, like, my relationship with my kids, I prepared them, girl. You know what I mean? I have prepared them. You're gonna love, being intimate with somebody, but not everybody that you should,
Right,
be
right.
in a
Share
relationship
that
with
part with you.
should be your the one,
Right.
sort of thing. Um, so for me, it was a real song of, number one, understanding my role that I had to play in the failure and in the letdown of this relationship. Number two, coming to a place of understanding that I had so many questions,
Mm,
like, why wasn't I enough? You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't I just be enough as I am? Why did I have to change myself and betray myself and be this ultra holy woman for you to love me, sort of thing?
yeah,
But then I don't want to take away from how incredible my husband is.
absolutely.
He's an incredible man. He's a wonderful man. And so, the other songs that I've written, he's actually been my muse for 20 years. All the songs I've written over the last 20 years have been about him, the good songs and the bad songs. I think there's like two maybe bad songs that I've written about it, but everything else is just like lovey-dovey and beautiful. But I think it's also about women not really creating an identity for themselves outside of their marriage and
Absolutely. And
outside
it's
of
on being a
husband.
mother.
Yes, outside of being a mother. And I think that's what it is. And I think a 40-year-old who's experienced this kind of traumatic, it was
Yes.
traumatic, experience, for a long time, thinking, oh my God, I've got mental issues. I've got a mental illness because I'm killing myself trying to make him see me,
Right.
trying to, and this is where I had to really learn and, dig deeper to lean into God,
Mm,
because if I didn't, I would have lost myself, continued to lose myself, and continued to betray myself to make him happy. And or it actually wasn't even about making him happy, just to make him see me, you
right.
know,
Because
because
one of
all
the
that a woman.
lyrics in there, you said, I was invisible. You made me feel
I
invisible. And my gosh, that is such, especially when you've been with someone for so long and to still feel that way or to feel that way later on. It's like, oh my God,
100%, 100%.
ripping my
And get
heart out.
Oh yeah, and guess when he decided to change? When I left his ass,
Of
sort of
course.
thing. And and then all of a sudden he could see me, and I was like, "What the hell?" Sort of thing. So
It
even
had to
in
go
that, I
there,
had
you
to,
know.
yeah, but even in that process, I had to really find my self-worth and
Mm,
really find my value and really align myself with my calling, because I don't want someone else to be responsible for my happiness. I don't want someone else to be responsible for my joy. That is my responsibility. He was never meant to make me happy
right.
or complete me, sort of thing. But because I was raised on Days of Our Lives, I
Right.
just believed that he was going to
Yes,
be,
as the world turns.
I was, yeah, I just believed I was going to be the hope to his bow, and he was always going to love me and bring home flowers, and it just wasn't the case. So for a guy like him who is obsessed, he's obsessed with providing for his family, making
Mm,
sure that we have everything that we need. For a guy like that, and then for me to diminish that role by going, but you're not spending enough time with me, we could not communicate. We didn't have the communication skills to be able to tell each other that, to share our heart with each other. Now that we're older, we can,
of course.
but the point is, it is also, now that we're older and we've learned our lessons, we can turn that pain into power. We
Mm,
can turn the regret into rejoicing, because if you don't learn the lesson, you're going to keep going round in circles. And I refuse. I'm still young.
right.
I want to,
Amen, girl.
I want to have a great life. I don't believe in, I believe that if we are to have these marriages, they should be the best marriages. Why shouldn't we be having the
Right.
best marriage? Damn
Right. I was like, why can't
it.
that
So,
be a goal? Why is that not something that we strive for?
right.
Like not
Right, right,
always
right.
the drama, but you have to, like you said,
Oh, I
find
hate
your
drama.
joy.
I hate drama. Uh-huh.
Well, it was so raw. It was so from a place of, I can definitely see how your first rendition of it could have been F you,
Oh,
all the bleep bleeps in there. But
yes.
I do love, though, even in the song from the beginning, where you start off in a very hurt, very angry,
Mhm.
and then as it continues, the song almost grows in the sense of your growth and your resolution towards the end, and that was
Yeah.
so beautiful, and I cannot wait for everyone to hear it,
Me
especially
too.
those who are in relationships. Not take, you don't have to have a husband or to actually feel that, because we've
Oh, yeah.
all, if you have relationships with people, you all have that moment where you're just like,
Yeah.
F you, man.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Get out of my way.
I get out of my
Absolutely.
way as I get. But that's so also very such a great thing that I'm taking away from this is your self-evaluation of taking
Oh, yeah.
ownership of your part in maybe your sadness in your relationship, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. It's my responsibility to put my heart and my mind into the right state into the right state. It is no one's responsibility to make me happy. It is no one's responsibility to carry my self-worth for me. And I think that's the greatest message is at the end of the song it's like, well, actually, you know what? You made me feel that way, but I'm going to turn that around to give myself to take back my power because when you love somebody that much and you give them your power,
Mm,
or the power to dictate how you feel,
mm-hmm.
that is one of the worst things you can do. So I'm so grateful for these lessons that I've learned because I'm not shy about passing them on to my children. Just because I came from a broken marriage or a broken past does not. I refuse to pass that on to my children. I
Yes,
want my children
you're
to make
breaking
better
that cycle.
decisions. I want 100%, 100%.
Oh, this is so magnificent. I can't wait again for Dear Ex-Husband. It's gonna
Thank
be
you.
my entrance song when my husband's pissing me off, so that'd be great. No. I'm like, you better shape up or ship out, buddy. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Okay, well, you also mentioned congratulations, by the way, on just everything that you've been doing for yourself, not only with your career, but also with your health. So I wanted to
Yes.
mention your weight loss. And one of the things that I saw on your Instagram was the fact that when you went on the plane, you didn't have to use an extension belt. Like,
Yes. Hallelujah. Every Polynesian out there is like, oh, what? Yes. I know that feeling.
that is such a great goal. Like, I'm.
Oh yeah. That was actually one of my very first goals was just to be able to, but at the same time, this is how miserable I was as well.
Mm,
You don't realize that your whatever you're feeling or the anguish that you feel in your spirit, it transfers into the body as well.
right.
And
It absorbs all of
so
it.
oh, 100%. And so I had spent pretty much all of 2021 in bed in agony, with the beginnings of kidney failure. And I was actually preparing my kids. Um, I was in that much pain and agony. I couldn't even get out of bed
Oh my gosh.
to be able to I was preparing my kids. If mum has a stroke, my blood pressure was through the roof. My heart was like, really, my chest was tightening every single week because I was not taking care of myself. And
Mm.
I was dwelling in the sadness of what I was going through in my marriage. So what I did was, I was telling my kids, Mum's going to die next year. I
Oh
was
my
literally telling them, Mum's going to die in 2022. If I have a heart attack, if I have a stroke, because my doctors were like, "Yeah, something's going to happen to you. You need
God.
to get your life in order." And so instead of losing weight was just too hard for me. It was just something that
Well,
was unattainable.
it was not in
Couldn't
your
do it.
mindset, right? You're
Oh yeah,
you're saying
hundred
this is
percent.
impossible. You're telling me to do something impossible.
Yeah, I've been trying. I've been
Yeah.
trying, So nothing would, put me on the right course. And so I said to my kids, look, if something happens to mum and I'm on a machine, just turn off the damn machine. You guys are too young to be looking after
Oh my
an invalid mum, sort of
gosh.
thing. So what I did was, as a last resort, I had seen that one of my friends was doing a program called Arbonne, and I signed up to use it within 7 days. But actually, within 3 days, I was already bouncing out of bed. My energy had returned. There was no pain in my body. My joints were fine. All the fluid that had built up in my body had drained out. So
Wow.
I believe like and so I started to become a representative for this product. So message me if you've got issues with your health. You need to get on this program. It is literally something that has not just turned, like, it hasn't just helped me lose weight. The weight loss was actually the easy part. It
Right. That's the
was the
bonus, right?
Oh yeah, that was the bonus to how I feel. Like
Mm.
I feel amazing. I feel alive, and I have to credit this product for actually changing my mindset as well. It was on this product that I realized I am not depressed. I am unfulfilled in my
Mm.
life, and I can do something about it. Getting my health in order has helped me to put things into perspective, to enjoy life again, sort of thing. Because I'd
Yes.
given up on myself last year. I was like, well, I'm just going to die, and everybody else have a good life. I was so
Bye.
bitter. I was
Bye.
miserable. You can hear
Oh
the
my
misery in Dear
gosh.
Ex-Husband, right?
Yeah. Oh, girl.
So I've been on the program now for this October is actually my 12th month. So
Oh, happy
I've lost.
anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. And for my 43rd birthday, like for my 42nd birthday last year, I was literally, I could feel my body dying, my skin, my hair, everything, my organs were turning on me. This year, I'm so alive. My body is strong. My mind is strong. And it really, in order to get your health in order, it's not, sometimes for someone who was so overweight like me, it's not as easy as just changing your diet. You have to change your life. You have
Right.
to literally disrupt your mindset. It's not just like, hey, I'm just going to make up my mind. No, you have to disrupt anything that you want to change in your life. You have to disrupt what you're already doing. It has to be a pure disruption.
I
So
like
I
that. I
disrupted
like
my
that
whole
usage
life.
of
Yeah,
word.
it's true. It's true. It's You have to be disruptive to change anything. So I disrupted my pattern that I was doing. I went on this program and I've been on it for 12 months, have not gone off it a single day. And, it consists of a gut cleanse, which cleans the gut. And you have no idea, 90% of your serotonin, which is your happy hormone,
Yes.
is produced in your gut.
Wow.
Right, it's not produced in your brain. Your brain feels it and allows the feeling to go through your body, but it's produced in your gut. But everything from your thyroid to your brain function to your body function obviously has to do with your gut. So it's changed my life, and it's helped me to put so much into perspective. More than anything, it's given me the energy to continue to pursue the calling on my life, because I believe that a lot of our calling is cut short because of poor health.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Um,
Especially as Pacific Islanders,
oh girl,
where you know what I mean? Like we're one of the
yes,
highest when it comes to these,
yeah,
and I call them choice illnesses, right? Like diabetes
right,
or
right,
gout or, a
yeah,
heart failure or
yeah,
obesity. Like
yeah,
all
yeah,
of those, we actually,
yeah.
a lot of things we don't have a choice in
Oh
life
yeah,
in general, but in
yeah.
those things, we
We
actually
have a choice.
do. We have a choice. We can
but
control it. And
but I
so it's
think
really cool that you mentioned that. I'm totally going to steal that. I'm gonna have to disrupt.
oh yeah,
Like you have to
oh
disrupt
you
your life
have
if you
to.
want change. It's so awesome.
Absolutely. With anything in life, whether you, I mean, like, like even my parenting, I was so disciplinarian and mean to my kids when they were younger. And then I was like, I don't want to be that mother.
Right.
And so it took me months to train my mind and to train my brain to be softer to my children and not to be such a grr
Right.
Scorpio mom. Like I feel like I'm a tiger mom. But the other thing too is that when you do a program like this, you really realize that no one's going to help you.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like in life, you realize if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You have to do it yourself. It's not just about health anymore. It's about our kids. Can you imagine? Like I was waiting every day to die, and
and then
that's
you
not a
actually
that's not an
verbalized it to your
exaggeration.
children. That's so
100%.
scary.
I was preparing them. This is the kind of funeral that I want. This is where I want to be buried, sort of thing. And I'm
Oh.
going to leave you guys with this trauma, sort of thing, because that's how, and then like going on this program within 7 to 10 days, I felt well, within 3 days, really, I was bouncing out of bed with energy. But within 7 to 10 days, I realized I could actually see myself. I could
Hmm.
actually see what was going on in my head. And I was like, I'm going to disrupt those thoughts. And then I realized also, no one's going to help me. I
Yeah.
have to help myself. If I'm going to transform my body, my mind, and my soul, I have to do it myself. And I think that's such a big lesson that we all need to understand. It's no one's responsibility to help us get anything in order, you know? So,
Amen, girl. Message. Okay, I can definitely spend hours and hours, and I hope that we stay in contact off camera
thank
because
you.
you
Thank
are
you,
just
Lulu.
dropping gems all over the place, and we need to have a 10-part Zoom interview with you,
I
of
love it.
life-changing one. Okay, so I just have a couple of more really important questions that I don't want to rob our listeners and our viewers from. So, you are a singing coach, right? And there's a term that you use, singing hacker. For everyone
Mhm.
who doesn't know, please let us know, like me, let us know what a singing hacker is, please.
Sure, sure. So I've been singing professionally since I was about 11 years old.
Oof.
So obviously my voice has gone through a lot of changes and things like that. But one of the things that I can help people to do, I actually can help people to sing better within 30 minutes.
Wow.
I teach a technique that focuses on breathing and breath control, but also hacking the brain. So I do what's called neurosemantics. Neuro means brain, semantics means words. I use words and action to train the brain into remembering the correct process of how to sing.
Mm.
So that's the hacking part. I can hack the brain. Does that make sense?
Nice.
And so, yeah. That's the hacking part. So the other thing too is that I'm not a trained opera singer or anything like that, or a trained professional singer, but I've been singing long enough to know what works.
Right.
And what's so beautiful is that when I see my students using the techniques, and then they're like, I have no pain and no strain or no
The hoarseness or
uh,
like, yeah.
yeah, like it's just it's a miracle,
Mm.
because using this technique allows you to be able to sing effortlessly with no pain or strain in the vocal cords, and you literally learn it within 15 sessions. You learn it, it's a 15 session training.
Wow.
And I charge more than most singing coaches, but that's because you're not going to be with me for 4 years before you get a
Right,
result.
right. So
everybody get
15 sessions, it's
everybody
done. You're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
putting
But in
getting
your
them on their
first
way.
lesson,
Wow.
oh, for sure. In your first lesson, you're going to feel and hear a difference. There's never been anybody that didn't hear or feel a difference. It's also about controlling the air and controlling the voice to make yourself sound the way that you want to sound. So it's fab. It's such a delight. It's so joyful to watch people. But I think one of the greatest things that I've been able to coach through this process is helping people to understand that when you're scared on stage, or when you're scared of singing in front of other people, then you don't know, then you have no idea what you're doing with your gift. Because
Right.
when you care what people think, you're making it about you. you know
Mm.
so that kind of brain hacking is what I teach as well. Understanding that your gift is not about you. Stop making it about you. It's not about you.
Wait, what?
It's about
Everything's not about me? I don't
Oh
understand.
my gosh, Lulu, it's not about you. Sort of thing.
Miss Davis, I don't like it. Not like
Your gift is about sharing it with people. You don't know who needs to hear your stories and your voice. So that's what it's hacking not just the voice, but the brain and confidence as well. It's incredible. I'm so blessed. God is so good to me to have given me these hacks and insights, and I'm so glad I get to share them.
Oh, wow. Well, I can't wait because I started when I was coming into the entertaining business, just to put it about me a little bit here, Miss Marina. No.
Go
It's
for it.
about me. It's about me. No, I'm just kidding. But I do remember that I strained away or strayed away really from singing and music because of the constant, because I am a talker, I'm a social butterfly like yourself, and I
Yeah.
could never shut up. That was very hard for me, right? So then when it actually
Oh, it
came
takes
time to
discipline.
perform, that you're right, like there is some strain, there is, and it is, you're more worried about what others are thinking, and so then you're
Mhm.
not letting it, and I didn't realize how much of it is just so mental, right? That your
Oh yeah,
mindset and what's going through your mind actually resonates through your vocal cords and your
yeah,
feelings and your emotions and what your body's going through.
100%,
And so, just like what you
100%.
were talking about, so I can't even imagine now. Would you say that your voice is different since you've gotten, for a lack of a better word, healthier?
Yes, I believe it is, but also my my writing has become more honest as well.
Mm,
I think, because when you go through a relationship, or it can be any relationship. It's not just marriage that we
right.
betray ourselves. We betray ourselves to make other people happy all the damn time.
Yes.
So I realized also coming out of it that I'm going to continue to write without betraying myself,
Mm.
without betraying my story, without trying to, cover other people. I'm going to write from a place of honesty, and whether it makes me look good or bad, I don't care. It comes from a place of truthfulness. So
That
yeah,
must be so
I think
freeing. Is
it
that so
is.
freeing?
Oh my god. You have no idea. It is the most, and that's really what the path of least resistance to joy does, is it brings you to your true freedom and alignment with God. And
I like how you say that,
that's
the
all.
path of least resistance to your joy, because it's not technically like the path of least resistance for hard work, right? Because there are certain things
Right.
and bumpiness that you need to do to actually hone your
Oh yeah.
skill, to actually go through
Yeah.
the struggles and whatnot. But
Oh,
the
oh
path
yeah.
of
It
least
teaches you
resistance
to
to
let
your
things go
joy.
real quick. Don't
Yes.
hold on.
You feel
Don't
it?
hold on.
You write a song
Let it
about
go.
it?
Yeah, and let it go, girl. And and also, but sometimes the things that you can't let go, you've got to be, it teaches you courage. The path of least resistance to joy teaches you courage to address things that really need to be addressed, to have the hard conversations with people. I think it's such a beautiful place to be, because then when you do get to have those hard conversations, it's not coming from a place of I'm here to tell you,
Right.
sort of thing. It's coming from a place of, hey, I think this is what's going on, and can we try to work it out? I think it's such a beautiful place to be, because it gives you not just peace but courage and understanding,
Ugh,
and I'm
that's
flip.
a
If I didn't learn this by 43, what have you learned with your life if you're not 43 and you've learned these lessons? No.
Yeah, but you know what though? We do just having to be honest with yourself is one of the hardest things.
Oh
And to
yeah,
be self-aware and for
and
you to
admitting you're the
actually
problem. Most of the time,
Yes.
you're the problem.
Yeah,
Admitting you're the problem.
that's definitely
Hard.
not it for me. But no, I'm
Ooh,
just
that's hard.
I'm like I'm always the solution, never the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Miss Marina Davis, thank you so much, Queen, for
Thanks,
spending some time with
sis.
us today and just taking the time to just drop all these valuable gems on us and
So
sharing your
sweet.
joy because it is absolutely infectious. Can't wait for your new music to come out. And we love you and we appreciate your
Love you
gift and
too.
what you
Thank
do for
you.
us. Thank you so much. Any last thoughts? Any shout outs you want to give?
I just want to shout out to my kids, because I haven't seen them in over a month, and I love you.
Oh.
And I think that's been the most wonderful thing about being away from home, is the love letters between my children. That's been my favorite part of this whole experience of being over here to really break into the American music industry. It literally has been the love letters between me and my kids every single day. It is the most beautiful expression of just depth and love, and I just want to encourage everybody, stop listening to everyone else.
Mm.
You are so valuable, and you have such an incredible gifting within you, and you've got to stop waiting for validation from everybody else. Go for it. And if you make a mistake, who cares? you
Right.
know Mistakes polish your journey. They make you better, they make you stronger. I don't know why, as a Pacific culture, we laugh at people when they make mistakes. You know what? Mistakes are necessary. You ask people who have lost millions, billions, and gained billions. They will tell you that the mistakes were really the reason why they were able to continue to be successful. So I think my message to everybody is, can you just literally get out of your own freaking way
Yeah.
and go and go for it. Pursue your heart. Your heart knows and communicates with God, and you just got to follow that. Unless your heart is telling you to hook up with somebody else's husband or wife, that ain't the
Then
Lord,
you're like, no,
honey.
no, that's not
That's
it.
you. Okay?
That's you getting in your way again.
That's you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Marina.
Thank you, sis. Love
God
you. God
love
bless
you.
you. Love
God
you,
bless
everybody.
you.
God bless.
Take care. You heard it here on Island Block TV, Pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. I am your girl, Myz Lulu. Stay amazing and stay beautiful. And of course, as Miss Marina said, make sure you continue to pursue your dream and the path of least resistance to joy. Mwah!